that losers bracket. But first up, we got Jay Huey, Chameleonaire, Dope Girl, Lioness, and Maddox on Disrupt Gaming. Specifically, Maddox has been in the comp community since I've been playing the game and long before I even made the switch to PC, let alone join the esports team. So Maddox has been grinding for quite a while. She's the team captain on Disrupt Gaming. So seeing her in CCSW, she's a face that I'm sure many of you would recognize, and my first time casting her, so I am excited. And on the
Hmm.
side of Homeland Nova, you got Dyer, Anna, Keisho, Snow, and Cake. 5 names that I'm not as familiar with, but honestly, I'm just glad. This is kind of the refreshing thing about it. T3 in the amateur scene is one thing. You get a lot of the same names over and over again.
Hmm.
I'm excited to cast this first and foremost because I don't know a lot of these players, so this is going to be a
Yeah.
new experience for me.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't really know a whole lot going into this, but hey, we do know right now what maps we are going to be playing with. So if we want to go ahead and take a look at the map bans here and see where we'll be going. Clubhouse, first one banned out by Disrupt, followed out by Chalet, and of course,
Of
the
course.
T3 ringer itself, Cafe, to start us out with Homeland starting on defense, Oregon following up in second with Disrupt on attack, Consulate Villa banned out with Coastline, rounding us out with our decider. This is a best of three format, so first team to two will take it and continue on in the winner's bracket. Honestly, I think Cafe and Oregon being such default maps that I think more often than not having more default maps to kind of start out shows more of a team's prowess rather than, oh, this is just a bad map for them, or this is a good map for them, this is why they worked out really well. It's because these are such default maps, these are maps that everyone plays. It really gives a chance for the teams to really show out and really prove themselves on an individual level and on a team sort of composition level. So I think it's going to be an interesting first match to start us out here.
It should certainly be, and yeah, Cafe Oregon, especially in North America, very
Hmm.
comfortable pick. Not nothing you'd get too crazy with. And I imagine maybe as the season goes on, teams will get a bit more, a bit more crazy with the map ban phase. Maybe
Hmm.
we'll see Consulate show up, Chalet a bit more once that map gets a little bit more comfortability
Hmm.
attribute it with as well. So not only is going to be a nice little taste of what these teams might have to offer first up, but it's also a time for the teams. They're going to take those other teams to the more default maps, figure out what they've got going on, and then once they get more and more of a track record for certain teams, they might throw the curveball in the map ban phase here or there. And starting out on
Hmm.
Cafe, it's a good mix. It's got a lot of
Yeah.
structure as well, but it still has some potential for, I would say exactly running around, but it still has some potential for aggression. You see Valkyrie get banned a lot on that
Hmm.
map because it's a big old rectangle and just one cam
Hmm.
outside could give you a perspective on at the very least half the building. So
Hmm.
it's a nice, easy way to start it out. Oregon less so. Oregon
Hmm.
is a bit
Yeah.
is not nearly the same at
Yeah.
all. It's
Yeah.
kind of sad that one came out, but hey, it's whatever. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, definitely Cafe does have a little bit of more run and gun potential than say Oregon. It's a lot less um structured, so to say. Oregon requires a very defined strategy in how you go about taking it.
It's very linear too. It's so
Mhm.
constricting. It's just I want to see something different. And every time I go into a
Mhm.
match, I'm like, maybe today's the day. Maybe we finally see something different. Then I'm like, oh wait, you just can't soft breach really on basement, so it doesn't really matter. And
Yeah.
we're just stuck watching the same game over again. But so starting
Yeah.
out on Cafe, it's a map I've grown to like a little bit more over time,
Mhm.
especially since the Jaeger will my meta left. We're in a bit of a different situation, but we are getting into the game right now in just a couple seconds, and it's Disrupt Gaming versus Homeland Nova. Who will win the very first match of CCSW Season 2? We're about to find out, or at the very least, we'll see who wins the first map of CCSW Season 2. It is Cafe. Homeland starting on the defense, Disrupt starting on the offense. We'll see how this map might get changed based off the ban phase.
Yeah, already going into op bans, I got to be honest, I'm not expecting anything too crazy here. I
I
mean,
mean,
I
one can
fully
hope. One can
one can
hope.
one can hope, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm not expecting anything too crazy here. I'm looking to see things more on the default side of comp. Thatcher band to start us out would definitely be right in the cards. And
All
yep,
right. Well,
there it is. I mean, pretty much, if I remember correctly, had almost a 100% ban rate in CL and PL. I mean, you can't go wrong with banning Thatcher. I mean, even after all the nerfs, you can't go wrong with getting him off the board. I mean, it's just such a piece of utility. Maverick following it up, following the typical format of Thatcher and a hard breacher getting rid of. I wouldn't be surprised to also see, I'd say Maestro and Valkyrie to finish us out here with the defenders.
Yeah, Maestro and Cafe would certainly make sense. You get those Evil Eyes
Hmm.
inside a Cocktail, strong sight, and Valkyrie as well, seeing that uptick in ban rate. But you also might see the Mira. Mira is a very strong operator on Cafe, but no, it's actually the Cade to go out.
Hmm.
This does make sense. When you have that Thatcher and that Maverick taken off the board, Cade becomes so much stronger because you don't have a lot of options to take out those Electric Claws unless, hey, you
Hmm.
want to bring a Callie, but you're not going to bring a
Yeah.
Callie just because she
Yeah.
kind of just pigeonholes you into a certain role with the guns. So you don't want to
Hmm.
go that way. And for the final ban, no,
Oh
actually,
my.
you won't see a
Hmm.
Maestro, Valkyrie, or Mira. We're going to see Romai. Again, an op that makes sense. Romai with
Yeah.
those magnets, holding positions like Pixel without him on the board is going to be a little bit more difficult. But that does mean that Valkyrie's on the board. That enables a
Yeah.
lot more aggression from the defenders. Mira's on the board. Sure, you lose the Romai. That makes holding positions like Pixel a bit harder. But with Mira, on a reading room extension to the top floor, you can hold all the way from Cocktail into Cigar so much easier if you're able to play off that. Now, obviously, maybe Homeland isn't going to bring any of those ops. They'll bring a Maestro, but they won't bring a Valk or a Mira. So maybe you won't. Maybe we won't actually see any of them. But it's about the potentials, the potential for certain ops to come out.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I'm interested to see that. I mean, you said facilitating more aggression. I mean, first of all, we see the Nomad coming out. We see the Maestro coming out as well. The biggest thing is, I mean, I didn't see any really intelligence or roam denial banned out, and now they've got it. So you've got that facilitated aggression with more intel on the side of the defense, but they didn't really respond in turn by getting rid of the Nomad as well. I mean, that's a big piece of roam denial. If you don't see a Valkyrie ban, usually you will see a Nomad ban following along with that. But Nomad being on the board kind of presents an interesting dynamic for these two teams, seeing how that's going to play is, are they going to play a little bit more aggressive and but going to be slowed down then by the Nomad, or are they going to still play a bit more conservatively, just with not as much intel on the board, and kind of make that Nomad null and void.
Well, certainly the dynamic Homeland are going for right off the rip is burning so much utility. We don't actually have any deployable shields and secondary gadgets. We have the Goyo, who brings those two Vulcan shields. You can see one inside of Pixel right now with a couple ADSs lined up. So I don't have, say, a smoke that'll bring it. Got those Goyo shields. We got a Rooney Gates, Maestro Cams, Malusi Banshees. So still a fair bit for the attackers to burn. That'll be the job of Jay Huey and Lioness with the Ash charges and Sophia lifelines respectively. And maybe we'll see Dope Girl get a couple Ace charges or some Selma charges on there. That one is a little bit less likely. We'll probably see her do a bit more hard breaching. But the job of Homeland, while they might not be bringing that intel, is still to waste time and burn utility first and foremost. But hey, they'll waste Dire right off the bat. The first person to die in CCSW will be Dire on the side of Homeland Nova. And Cammy, it's the first kill in the season.
Yeah, already starting out strong, and DG have brought a very, very aggressive play so far. I mean, they've already got two members inside of Cigar here, and already looking to put pressure inside of Pixel here, taking pot shots at that Goyo shield from up above Minibar, as well as, like I said, those two members sitting inside of Cigar. Flash is coming out trying to burn out those Jaeger ADSs. Flash will catch Cake off guard, and that will be the shield burnt and busted. They do still have to deal with snow inside of Bathroom, but at the very least, you've gotten rid of that Pixel player, and that Aruni Gate is burned. Start making a little bit more headway into Piano here, and start trying to push some of these defenders off of their site, force them back into Flat and Freezer. And there's Lioness going ahead and taking down Snow as well. A very aggressive play by her. And like that, the right side of the map is in their control, and the man advantage very squarely in their favor. 5v3.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to say was Snow left alive, then right as I was about to bring it up, Linus just takes her down. So now all you've got left for Homeland is a 3v5, Cake on low HP, a couple Maestro Cams destroyed inside as well, and everyone's pushed back with still a minute to spare for the attacking team. Dope Girl is in a free position to open up those cocktail walls. Potentially get a plant inside a long bar next to default, and more shots peppering over on the side of the defense. Anna taking more damage. Finally, a member of the attack looks worse for wear, and it's a bit of a shaky engagement from both sides, but Cake, despite the low HP, manages to come away the victor. Does not mean it's over for Disrupt, though. They've lost one body, but still hold the lead firmly. Just a question whether or not they can land their execute. Dope Girl moving their way on in. Knows someone might be Freezer. will start to get the plant down. Cake has a C4, could swing out, but no, gets taken out by Maddox. Excellent flank watch, excellent transfer onto Ann as well. Now it's just Keisho left in the 1v4. Not the best straights to start out. Your first game on CCSW. She'll get one kill, but quickly traded out. Disrupt, they pick up the first round in a fairly strong attack.
Yeah, and just like that, yeah, no, that was a very, very aggressive attack as well. I mean, they were able to just pick off defenders very, very quickly. That early pick by Cammy as well. I mean, losing a defender that early, putting the man advantage in favor of DG that early as well, while they haven't even really made their way into the map yet. Definitely not a good look for Homeland here. So now they're going to be heading down to Kitchen. The biggest thing for them here is, I think, holding on to that early man advantage, trying to at the very least keep it even for as long as possible, and trying to slow down the aggression of DG in any way they can. That's the biggest thing I'm noticing here from Disrupt, is that they are a very, very aggressive team.
Attackers need to
Yeah, especially Lioness getting that kill
on
onto the Aruni just a little bit after. If you give them an inch, Disrupt appear to be the kind of team that will take a mile. And thankfully, for the side of Disrupt, Homeland looked like they're running a bakery extension. They put that shield next to bakery long bar. We don't see this too often anymore, but with how much trouble Homeland seemed to have holding down Pixel and Bathroom last time, running a similar setup, they definitely need to play a little bit more reserved and not give themselves to as easy gunfights. Now, we didn't see how Cammy managed to take down Dyer at the beginning. It was in the first 30 seconds. Maybe Dyer just got caught out on a rotate, and that's how Siege is. You get unlucky sometimes. It might not be her fault in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, just in case it wasn't, you need to be playing a bit more conservatively, because you were on the Malusi last time, but now you're on the Mute. You've got that C4 in your back pocket, and sure, you're not as active as, say, a Smoke, but still, keeping that C4 alive to potentially deny the plant later on while also wasting time early on in the round, that's key. Not just for Dyer. That goes for everyone on the side of Homeland.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Already we see them make a very quick foray into Wedding here, as they will go ahead, open up the soft wall with the ace there, try and get themselves a good angle. Looking into Bakery here, as we've got 3 players moving into the Bakery main door. Still got 1 player inside of Kochek, but doesn't look like they're worrying about him at all, as they are just pushing all bodies in here as quickly as possible, taking out the Mute Jammer. And yeah, they are not worried at all. They're just going right in here, and they're going to go ahead, open up the prep wall here, start making their way towards the site, trying to take out some of these anchors. I'm not sure they are aware quite yet of the smoke sitting just inside of prep here, but I'm sure they will be pretty shortly.
You can see that's what Cammy's trying to go for, putting that 0 cam on the reinforcement. Unfortunately, did get muted, so that will be silent for the time being. But they've already taken that bakery control. Nobody was actually inside a bakery behind that deployable shield to contest, so still burns some utility, but not so much in the vein of time. Disrupt will take that, and will drone all over the map. Lioness repels up, starts clearing out the 3rd and 2nd floor respectively, drops down, and once again, there's no presence to speak of. Nobody on the side of Homeland is holding vertical holes from 2nd floor down to the 1st, so that will signal the Disrupt that if they push into the site, it's going to be a lot easier than they might have initially thought. And once again, Cammy gets the opening pick. Keisho falls, swinging Bakery, if I do believe. That's the 2nd kill for Cammy in the match so far, tied with Maddox at the moment. And what are Homeland doing? They're playing incredibly passively. Now the wall's been opened. There is still Dyer inside of Kochek. That could be one of the key players of the round, that angle. Maybe it was her that got it, but no, it was Maddox downed in a frost mat. You gotta drone those out, my friend. But even despite the down onto the Nomad, it's still an effective 4v3 for Homeland.
Yeah, Cammy already doing good work here. Double kill for Lioness and Cammy, but it's Dope Girl to finish it out as Snow finally shuts down Lioness before she's able to get another one. And that'll be it. Disrupt are playing very, very aggressive, and Homeland are just kind of, I mean, I hate to say it, right now it just feels like they're kind of lying down and taking it. I mean, there's nothing that they're really showing. They're playing very passively. There doesn't seem to be any sort of retaliation that in any way, shape, or form for Homeland.
Yeah, Homeland they're playing very laid back right now, which might very well work if you're playing a team that likes to get in their own way, likes to be incredibly thorough. But as we've seen from these past couple rounds, Disrupt, they drone what they need to. They don't seem to be the biggest fans of getting caught up, checking corners 3, 4, 5 times. Once
Hmm.
they moved into bakery, they recognized that no one was in there. They didn't play passively. They took that map control as
Attackers
soon
need
as
to
they
locate
could
and defuse
possibly
as many
go.
bombs as they
Then they
can.
sent Linus upstairs to clear out the third and second floor. And since there was nobody playing inside of
Attackers have
mining a
located a
train,
bomb.
once Linus has secured that, the push is pretty much secure once you get bakery wall open. Wasn't much that Homeland really could do except for hold their angles, and Disrupt appear to be shooting straighter overall in this match so far, setting up their crossfires. Sure, you had Maddox getting down, and hey, I mean, it's a frost mat. Happens to the best of us sometimes. But I think you're certainly hitting the point on the head. Homeland, they're not doing a lot to counter right now. They'll go back to kitchen, so hopefully they have something more aggressive or more active in mind. I
10 seconds to go.
I hoped so in round number 3.
Yeah, biggest thing I think is going to be trying to slow them down or stop them in bakery. It looks like they may even be playing an extension inside of bakery. Back behind the bakery counter. Yeah, they are. They are going to be playing an extension inside of bakery with a shield. But a little bit atypical is usually you leave one of those kitchen walls soft so that you can hop right through it as soon as you get too much pressure put on you. But so far, it looks like it's a ride or die mission here for Keisho.
In fact, Keisha will rotate off immediately, though I will say held onto it a bit longer than Homeland did last time. I don't believe the Jaeger was even inside, and whew, Anna, your smoke taken down immediately. Not entirely sure where from. Might have been swinging from prep? I'm not sure. No, that was in the site. That was all the way over by Kochek. So Maddox just peeked in, took down the head of the smoke, and that's one of your key operators. With those 3 toxic canisters gone in the first 30 seconds. And now that you vacated bakery, Disrupt are the exact same position. In fact, a little bit better in terms of utility than they were last time. I believe it was Keisha on the Jaeger last time who was the first to fall, and sure, it always sucks losing an operator, but a smoke for a Jaeger, I would take the Jaeger any day in that trade, or at the very least the one to lose. But hey, maybe Keisha dying was the key to Homeland's success. Keisha trades back pretty soon after they lose Anna, making it a 4v4.
Yeah, already, and that's your hard breach as well. The only thing they have 1 hard breach charge in the back pocket of the 0 here. Already, you still got one inside of Kochek. They're taking their time now, trying to hold on to as much control as they can, trying to figure out a way to go into prep here, because last time they just opened it with the hard breach charge, but that was when they still had the ace. Lioness once again going up for that second floor rotate that worked so very well for her last time, allowing her to get a double kill with no retaliation from Homeland. It's one of the biggest things we usually see on a kitchen hold is a lot of vertical play from the defense, where there is almost none here on the side of Homeland. Hasn't been too much of a problem up until now, but it looks like Lioness is really playing into that now. Keisha is going to take a bit of damage there, I believe, from a breach charge up above. And they're just doing a bunch of damage to the ceiling and the walls here, trying to do whatever they can to get things open right now. There's Maddox able to get the second kill of the round on Keisha there. Dyer falls as well to Maddox. It's a triple kill for her on the round, a quad for her as Cake falls as well, but Snow shuts her down moments before the ace, unfortunately. Now it's a 1v3 as Cammy goes ahead, gets the plant down just inside the breach. Now it is a post-plant situation, 1v3 for Snow. The pre-fires come out, but unfortunately does not meet its mark as Jahui is able to find the head of Snow. All too late for Snow. That'll be the 3rd round in a row for Disrupt now.
4K from Maddox as well. As you mentioned, they were stopping Maddox just before she managed to land the ace, but still a 4K on Nomad, basically playing the same exact position the entire round. Nothing to slouch at whatsoever. But on the side of Homeland, we've mentioned their passivity and their lack of action overall, it seems, and just letting Disrupt take whatever map control they want. And it appears that they're not trying to go for that vertical play. It's clear. They're not. Second floor is not something they want to go for up them. They want to play close to the site, play close, go for those refrags. An admirable strategy. And we even saw Keisho sitting behind that deployable shield, contesting prep. There still was plenty of denial, or plenty of time wasting and angles held. It's just more of a horizontal focus. But if they're going to keep placing so much emphasis on bakery, if they do go back to kitchen, they still got 3 rounds left on the defense. I would like to see an adaptation up to that second floor, because you could have Keisha behind that deployable shield. You could still have some angles up top that, if Disrupt choose to attack that strategy again, would certainly prove maybe a bit more adept at stalling out their time. But right now, Homeland are in a position where they just need something to work. They've gone to Cocktail once, they lost it. They've gone to Kitchen twice, lost that as well. They'll try Cocktail for the second time overall, but not making many adjustments in their setup overall. Same operator lineup, it appears same positions with the same utility placement, so hopefully it comes down to something a bit different in the actual actions of the players.
I think this is where Keisha lost her life once earlier, as it looks like Cammy was coming from this direction, but will not look for the peak this time.
That could have been bad.
It could have been. It could have been bad for, honestly, both teams there, but it looks like the Zero is actually going to go ahead and rappel up this wall, and I was fully expecting Keisha to spray through that window there, and it could... One misstep from the Zero, and that could have been a fantastic play for Disrupt there, but Disrupt is all too aware of the positioning of the Jaeger there, and Cammy's going to go ahead and spray through the window and make Keisha aware of her position, but it doesn't even matter. Of course, we know the top-down angle almost always wins here in Siege. Make it a 5v4 and an early 5v4 at that for Disrupt.
Bit of dramatic irony right there. Cammy had full intel on the Jaeger's position with that drone placed at the white landing, and the Jaeger was just not aware of that drone's position. And when the enemy has full intel on you, there's not much you can do if you keep trying to push that aggressive angle. So Keisha, maybe she thought she had the right idea, but without knowing the position of that drone, she was a dead woman walking. Now, once Disrupt have got the opening pick, a bit slower than they did on the first attacking round, they'll still feel emboldened to go take this map control. First player cleared out of Pixel. They still have the shield inside a bathroom. Flashbang bounces off the wall, so the Rooney gate still has not been cleared, and that shield can still remain alive, but here's Lioness. Once again, getting aggressive inside a cigar, pushing up, trying to find the head, but no, it's Cake to trade back. Takes off the head of the very same person who killed or put him to low HP last time. And with that, Bathroom's still alive. You still have that Rooney gate. You still have both these deployable shields, and the person who's been gaining so much map control for Disrupt, well, she's fallen, and it's only a minute left.
Yeah, and like that, you've also wasted an ace charge. Unfortunately, caught by the ADS that had enough time to regenerate. That's a big piece of utility loss there by an unfortunate throw trying to get rid of that shield there. Because now Cake has plenty of opportunity if she wants to go ahead and try and pop that shield, but unfortunately will not, and will be caught out by Maddox there, but Snow through the hole. Bathroom will get the frag back onto Maddox, but Jahui finds it back really quickly, finds a second as well as Dyer falls, and now it's a 1v3 once again. Anna left all alone here as Maestro takes pot shots back over into construction, almost takes down Jahui. Not gonna be enough though. It's gonna be Dope Girl to get the plant down, Cammy to finish it off. Disrupt round 4 in a row.
I honestly thought that was going to be the first Homeland round. I really did. The moment that Lioness fell, that Rooney gate was still alive, and Cake seemed firmly entrenched in her position. That looked like the Homeland round if I had ever seen it. But that play right there, Maddox going in, pushing up white, and getting that trade. Because once she was still there, the player on back white stairs decided to push up. Not a bad decision by any means. That is what you should do. The Aruni, the Goyo, and the Malusi were all playing for the crossfire, playing for the trades, to try and trade out their teammate. That is exactly what you should do. They just did not account for Jahui pushing up on that Zofia, took the Malusi off guard, and while you did end up getting the trade, well played by you, that Zofia ended up getting up 2 kills from that position, just because they did not know. And that's not entirely their fault. That's what happens sometimes in Siege. It's just, that wasn't a round that Homeland truly lost. That was a great play by Disrupt, and a round that Disrupt firmly won.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing here, though, I'm going to be looking for Homeland is they've got to do something to shut down this aggression by DG. I mean, they're playing extensions, and, I mean, they're doing a good job in taking away the time from Disrupt, but unfortunately, they don't have anything that really stops Disrupt. They need to find something to just get the wind out of their sails as early as they possibly can, because right now they're struggling, and I need to see them try and do something to get them stopped and get them slowed down as early as they possibly can. And I don't know, I'm not really seeing that right now from Homeland. It's a very It's a pretty crucial thing they really need to work on, and I'm just not seeing it there. As Disrupt are just going to do a 5-person rush up red stairs, and Cake may potentially get a kill here, but there's 3 people rushing into train here. And unless Cake is lucky, she's not coming away with her life here. Maddox is going to go ahead and take down Cake. Lioness finds Anna. Cammy finds Keisho. And like that, it's a 5v2.
And make that a 5v1.
5v1. Again, the just pure aggression of Disrupt is completely unmatched by Homeland here. They need to do something to really stop this here. Snow is left all alone. C4 flies in, does not meet its mark. Will open up the wall a little bit, but Lioness comes from behind. Disrupt take round number 5 and are up to a very dominant lead early on in this match.
There were ever a round that truly demonstrated the strengths of Disrupt we've been praising, it is certainly that one. Once again, the setup from Homeland was not terrible. You have the pulse down below on the raiding room defense, sitting inside of Train to try and gain intel. That's exactly where the pulse should be playing. Maybe you put him over on the side, inside of reading to gain intel on the cocktail, but either way, he's playing that position well. Getting intel down below to try and relay to the defenders playing up top. But Disrupt made a read. They looked and they said, hey, if we just... This aggression has been working for 4 rounds in a row. What if we just send it up red before they have time to rotate back to site, before they have time to finish their setup, or before they have time to truly gain enough intel to fully counteract this? And we've been winning our gunfights so far. Let's take our chances around number 5. And at worst, if we fail, oh no, we go down 4-1 on Cafe Attack. That's a gamble I think that they would be well within their right to make, and it worked out completely. That is the first flawless round of CCSW Season 2, and it came before the first half even ended. We still got one more round for Homeland to try to bring things around, and they'll go back to 3rd floor. This was the site that looked the closest to a Homeland win so far. Maybe we'll finally see one come out in round number 6.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is definitely the round to do it, if any. I mean, if they can... Cammy saying, who's knocking, hearing the terrifying sound of the TCSG going off here. That is a, that's definitely a sound you don't want to hear, as Anna's using it to do some home improvement here. I'm wondering if she will take the gamble on the, on its sniping capabilities.
Hey, that gun's underrated. I don't know if I'd bring it over the Alda, but hey, you know what? In a vacuum, I enjoy using that gun. Well, that's unfortunate, to put it mildly, for, I believe, the 6th round in a row. Disrupt have achieved the opening pick. Keisho falls. She's also been the opening pick half of the rounds so far. She's the opening pick in rounds, funny enough, 2, 4, and 6. Hitting all the even numbers right there. And sure, it's the Jaeger. You're not losing out much in terms of utility, but for Homeland, losing a body early on once again, that seems to be the bad omen that signals a loss every single time. Disrupt have got the opening pick, but it's those rounds where they get the opening pick early that seems to be some of the most brutal for Homeland to come back from.
Yeah, no, already... I mean, you've lost Keisho, and you know it's not a world-ending pick for them as well. I mean, you're losing a Jaeger. Yes, your man advantage is down, but ultimately, I mean, Keisho's been playing a very flexible role, just going and running around and gunning. You wouldn't think that it would be the end of the world for him, but unfortunately, it has been. Unfortunately, Homeland have not been able to recover, as you said. I mean, it's usually the one bad omen is when they lose that early player, and already Bathroom is going to be smoked out, as well as Pixel very quickly, as Cake is going to have to rotate back into Freezer. It's going to be Dire also having to rotate back down White Stairs as well, with Cammy up above trying to get any sort of line of sight onto Plat. Any of the players that may be trying to rotate around in there, and like that, once again, Disrupt have a good portion of map control with a minute left. They have plenty of time to work their setup here. They're going to go ahead and open up some lines of sight, go ahead and get ready for that push in. Try and do whatever they can, clear out any more of these anchors here. Still got Dire sitting on top of White Stairs. There's Dope Girl to go ahead and start it off, and that is the Maestro of Anna. Those cams are now gone, and Dope Girl going ahead getting this plant down. The ping's coming out here for Cake, but Cake's not making a move on it. They're too worried about that skylight, and there's going to be Snow finally taking down Jahui as she gets a kill there back onto Dire, but Cake is going to be down. It's now all up to Snow once again. 1v4.
There's one.
Kill there onto Dope Girl, bringing it down to a 1v3. Make that a second kill there. Lioness falls as well. 1v2, a little bit more manageable here for Snow. Through the vault, though, unfortunately, it's going to be Maddox. Close it out, a flawless half for Disrupt here. 6-0 on their attacking half here on Cafe.
Well, to start things out, I guess we're just getting all the records out here. The only thing we did not have was Maddox acing. We were so close to that being said as the first ace CCSW, but that was denied. We had the first flawless round in round number 5, almost at 4. Round number 5. We had the first 4K, round number 3, and now we have the first flawless half. And this is just map number 1, folks. And Disrupt have already put Homeland at a 6-0 score line. And they're moving to Cafe defense. This is not looking good. The alarm bell should be signaling. I don't want to say it's over yet for Homeland on this map. We have seen teams come back from, I was going to say worse straights, but this is about the worst it could get on map number 1. And one thing I will say, this is also Disrupt's map pick. Maybe Homeland are not the most comfortable Cafe team. When they go to Oregon, we might see things switch up. But how Homeland have been playing and how much they seem to struggle on the defense, going to attack where things are going to be a little bit harder overall, if they're going to be playing the same passive play and Disrupt are going to get aggressive on the defense, where arguably it's a little bit easier because the attackers have to come to you. You get to dictate the pace a little bit easier on the defense. We might very well be seeing the first 7-0 on top of those other records.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Already, the biggest thing I'm going to be looking for Homeland is, I think the only way that they can really come back against Disrupt is match aggression with aggression. It's a little bit harder to do on defense, but on attack, I mean, just find a way to... I think the biggest thing is just get into ones, play the game on your terms, make it your map. Don't let this be Disrupt. So I mean, Disrupt. I mean, it was Homeland's defensive half, and Disrupt just made it their map. I mean, they had control like it was nothing. I mean, they knew every angle. They were able to drone very effectively, and the biggest thing here is going to be, you know, are they going to be aggressive enough to match Disrupts? I mean, just sheer gunning power, and oh no. I think she's gonna do it. She's gonna send it. She's gonna send it right up into Cocktail, and that's gonna be Jahui down and out, and she's just inside of Cocktail now. The sprays come out from the G81, but it's not enough as Cammy finds the head of Anna Dyer, finds Dope Girl though, and already the plant's down. This is what I was talking about. Meet aggression with aggression. Just complete and total misdirection by Homeland, and now it's a 4v1. It's all up to Maddox.
Yeah, it's Maddox left. Not the best spot to be in. Homeland felt and were in the same position quite a few times on their attacks, and were on their defense, I should say. Now it's Maddox's turn to feel the pain. Only about 10 or so seconds left, a little bit more than that for her to get the diffuser down. In all likelihood, she might get 1 kill, 1 impactless frag, but this is the first round of Homeland. What might be more to come, but it's 1 round for now. You've denied Disrupt that 7-0. You've denied them that flawless. Maddox won't even get the last kill. No, she will. She'll find Cake, but there's Keyshawn finally rounded out. And hey, look at Anna. Anna's cheering. She got her first kill. Homeland got their first round. You have to get 5 more, but hey, all great journeys start with the first step.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the best ever example of complete and total misdirection in Siege that I have ever seen. I mean, they send someone up Cocktail. They throw the Aruni up, or the Amaru up Cocktail. Throw another body in the window as well, just try and divert all their attention. And then they just have one person drop down Skylight and plant right next to the bomb chassis, and they're none the wiser.
That was an excellent rush overall. And that Maestro getting caught off guard. I mean, I'm not gonna blame Jahui for on that Maestro. Okay. If it's 2 minutes 30 seconds left in the round, I'm gonna be on cams too if I'm Maestro playing that position. So not looking, that's gonna happen. You're gonna get caught off guard by that. Namaru of all ops, not something you can easily predict. So it happens to the best of us. But the thing is for Homeland, can you really do that multiple times in a row?
You really can't.
Yeah, you really can't. And now Disrupt are going down to Kitchen. Homeland, the big part of their rush, not only was that misdirection, but it was also that Amaru setting the pace. There are certain ops like that in this game that if you're struggling a bit to channel that aggression and to take that map control, you got ops like Blitz. You got ops like Amaru. They're able to acquire map control, get aggression quickly, and then your team can follow up behind that. But you don't have that same option on Kitchen. You can't just Amaru into a window because it's on the first floor. Maybe you could on the roam clear, but Homeland are not doing that. With their op lineup, they look like they're playing this a little bit more traditionally, so this round will be a good test case. Are they able to bring out that aggression without bringing ops like Amaru? Or are they going to struggle? And if it's the latter, this might very well be a 7-1.
It's very possible here. I mean, the Amaru play, I mean, it was very much a surprise to Disrupt, and you can only surprise someone so much. We'll see if it looks like they're going to do a very, very top-heavy play here. Focus a lot of their play on the vertical here, which is contrary to how they played it, but I think it's also a very good read into how Disrupt is playing this, as they are playing a very vertical heavy hold here on Kitchen. They've got the Vigil extended all the way up here into 3rd floor, as well as it looks like some utility set on the 2nd floor, as well as the Vigil now, to try and cover that verticality that is all too important in this game. They've already opened up hatches. Anna making her way down the wide stairs here. I'm gonna be honest, is completely unaware of the Vigil inside of reading.
Oh, yeah. And that's a free one right there.
That's just gonna be a freebie right there, and probably a second one here if Jahui's lucky, but will not be, as Cake is able to catch her out as she rotates back out, trying to go down brown stairs here. 2nd floor control now very squarely in the hands of Homeland. They are free to do as much home improvement as they want here, but a wayward C4, unfortunately, will down Dyer. Going to be Maddox from down below. Dyer will be brought to very low HP, but still in a safe position to be brought back up. So, fortunately, not Dyer's end, so still plenty of work she can do there on the floor, but at a much lower HP, as Homeland now have a minute left. Still got to figure out and set up their execute here. Still got to figure out, do they want to keep opening up some more verticality, or do they want to go ahead, set up, get things ready for the drop and the push here.
Sledgehammer coming out, opening up all these holes, and it's not looking terrible for Homeland. Taking down Jahui, one of the key pieces to their success in this round. Had the Vigil been able to run roughshod over their team, surely this would be where they fall. But the question is, how can they work these final 40 seconds? They have those sledge holes, but everyone else on the defense seems firmly entrenched in their positions and able to roam around the 1st floor. You've still got the Jaeger, Linus sitting inside a Kochek, a Malusi running around inside a Bakery, and if you're going for this hatch drop, Dope Girl's been misdroned close with the shotgun. They might very well know and heard the sound cue, and yep, no, they do have some intel, so not all said and done. In fact, Cake picks up her 2nd kill of the round, and finally, they'll drop down the hatch. Nate will force Dope Girl out of her position. She'll try to flick, but no, it's Anna to take her down. Linus takes the head off of Cake, puts Anna on the floor as well. Linus has single-handedly brought this back into the favor of Disrupt. Look like they might just drop on in, and no, their chances might be gone, but Kami's put the diffuser on the floor. Dyer's got a plan, and no, it's not gonna happen. Looked like it might have very well gone the way of Homeland. They might have got their 2nd round in a row, but great play by the Malusi and the Jaeger in the dying seconds. Stall out long enough, drop the diffuser on the floor, and end map number 1, 7-1.
Already, Disrupt have shown up and shown out here for map number 1 of this year's version of CCSW. They're definitely showing up. Maddox with 10 kills, Linus 7, Cammy 8, and Jahui also with 7 as well. All of the members of Disrupt here showing up in this very first map. Now, we do want to remind you that was Disrupt's map pick, so, you know,
true.
We might see a different story when it comes to map number 2, but no, let's see. I mean, I gotta be honest, Homeland, there were a couple of times where it looked close, but I mean, they just really, it didn't feel like they had any real answer to the aggression of Disrupt so far.
Yeah, I mean, once you let a team go up 6-0 on the attacks, it's really hard to fight back once that side swap comes out. And Linus, one of the big players that match, you saw that first kill, constantly on the Ash, opening things up for Disrupt Gaming. Maddox as well on the flank watch. Popped off early on, didn't have as much of the same impact, but she's not exactly on roles that are known for their flashy impact. She's meant to hold the flank, so... Overall, everyone on Disrupt ending the game with stat line they had, the coordination we saw as well. Going into map 2, they look scary on a map like Oregon because you don't have as many dimensions on Oregon as you have to deal with. It is a much more linear map than Cafe, and Homeland were defending Cafe in a very linear fashion. Not focusing so much on the vertical, extending a little bit off-site, but still horizontally. That's very much how Oregon plays out on the defense on sites like Laundry. And if that's how Homeland are playing it, and we've already seen how Disrupt does against that playstyle, I'm a little bit worried if I'm Homeland Nova going into our map pick.
Yeah, absolutely. But, let's not talk too much about it. We've got a little bit of a break here. And we will be back here in just about 5 minutes here with map number 2 of Oregon, as Disrupt have now gone up 1-0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. If you missed it, it was a pretty dominant first map by Disrupt Gaming. On their map pick, they won 7-1. Now moving into map number 2, we're kind of worried for Homeland's chances. They might be able to bring it back, but it's certainly not looking as hopeful as I think Homeland might want.
Yeah, definitely. But, I don't want to dog on them too much. I mean, they did look, there were just a couple of times where it looked like, there's just too much aggression coming out from Disrupt that they really just didn't know how to respond to initially. And you mentioned as well, moving on to our second map of Oregon now. It's a very linear playstyle type of map, and that is very similar to how Homeland was playing. This is their map pick, so we may see a bit of a difference here in how it turns out. But again, Homeland were playing very linear, not a lot of verticality played in with how they were playing, and Disrupt seemed to be able to counter that very well. But again, don't want to count them out too early. This is their map pick now. They may feel a lot more comfortable here than they did back on the last map of Cafe.
Hopefully they do. It sucked to see the first map be such a dominant 2-0. I'm rooting for Homeland, not to be biased caster, but I'm rooting for Homeland on map number 2 because it would suck to see them go to the losers bracket so early. But we're getting into the game right now. Map number 2 of Oregon, Homeland's pick. Can they pull it back, or will it be another Disrupt stomp or another Disrupt victory at a closer margin? Either way, we get to find out right now whether or not Homeland are going to the losers bracket a bit earlier than they anticipated, or if we have map number 3 in the cards.
Already, op bans coming out again. Don't expect anything too crazy here. Thatcher's going to be the first one banned. I'm calling it right now.
You were wrong.
I'm wrong for the first time ever. Zofia.
And as a punishment, you have been kicked off the broadcast. Good night. Get someone else in here.
Zofia gonna be the first one banned out. A little bit off kilter there. Yeah, no, everyone on you can see the chat going crazy because they're like, why is Zofia banned out first? And all right, okay, can't kick me off. Thatcher was banned, just wasn't first.
Well, no, your win condition was Thatcher getting banned first. Technically, you are still wrong. I won't kick you out because it's the first day. Plenty of time to readjust, but.
I mean, you can just call me wrong and let me stay on the broadcast.
All right, that's fair. I guess that's a fair compromise. I mean, Zofia ban, sure, probably caught him off kilter. Does make sense on a map like Oregon when you have those impact lifelines, getting those taken away, not being able to destroy shields, and those concussions, not being able to burn ADSs or move defenders out of positions. It can really hurt and throw a team off guard. Likely why Homeland decided to do it, especially when Disrupt getting really aggressive on ops like Ashe and Zofia. But for their final ban, they went smoke. I respect the difference. If Homeland are doing anything in this match, they are making me happy personally because we're not seeing the same hard breach ban, the same what have you on Oregon. So I will say, Zofia bans, of all the maps, I feel like I've seen them the most on Oregon. Then again, the most is like 3 times compared to 0. Or so comparatively it's the most, but still not a lot. But same with the smoke ban as well. A lot of teams just have smoke in their lineup because it's smoke. Who bans smoke? Well, when sometimes a team does ban smoke, losing that shield, those toxic canisters, they can really suffer in the late round department. And we'll see if Homeland's 2 off-kilter bans of Zofia and Smoke are able to throw Disrupt off enough.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely some off-kilter bans here, not ones we see pretty commonly, but I think, honestly, it's a little bit strange seeing it banned out, especially with Homeland starting out on defense with Smoke being such a powerful defensive operator. And again, you mentioned early on, and I've mentioned it again, Oregon plays as a very, very linear map. I mean, it's one of those maps that there's not a ton of vertical play with pretty much any of the sites here, and with Smoke being able to just cut off complete areas of access. I mean, seeing him banned out, I think it's going to. We're going to see the defense maybe initially struggle with some of that area denial, but I don't think too much here.
Game was so confused by the Zofia smoke ban, they just decided not to load in.
Yeah, no,
it fried someone's SSD.
I think it may have fried someone's SSD.
This might be the most visceral reaction I've seen to a ban phase ever from Rainbow Six Siege, and I've seen people ban Ashe, Jaeger, and Vigil in a match. And the game still functioned after that. So clearly, Zofia and Smoke close to their hearts.
Yeah, no, already. I mean, it's the game's like Smoke. Okay, no. We gotta take a break here. It's like, nah.
You guys, You did the Sophia, and we were like, well, okay, whatever. We'll let you be weird. Then you took out the smoke. No, no, we're not having it. So
They put Homeland in timeout.
they did. They did put Homeland at time. They're like a Sophia from one team and a smoke from another. You can't predict for that. But you causing both the chaos bands. No,
Nah.
not
Go
happening.
go to the corner. You're done.
Go to the
Take
go to
take
the
a
same
seat.
corner Loaf is for predicting Thatcher as the first ban. You all have to sit over there until we get this figured out. I'm gonna
Uh,
be honest. I actually have no idea what is happening because it's not a production thing. This is just literally the
yeah.
game just sitting on 000. We got word. Anna is not loading in, unfortunately. So
Yeah. No.
unlucky.
Unfortunately, it's what we're just having to work with here. But it gives us some more opportunity to kind of talk about where we think this is going to go. I mean, DJ starting on attack. I mean, we saw on Cathay. I mean, we mentioned it before the break as
Oh,
well.
there we go.
That we saw,
Attackers
you
need to
know,
locate and
Disruptor
defuse as many bombs
very
as they
very
can.
easily able to counter um, a very linear type attack style, and that's all Oregon is. I mean, I hate to say it's all Oregon is.
A lot of Oregon.
It's
A lot of it's that linear style.
it's pretty much all. I mean, there's no Oregon is about as linear a map as it gets.
On the bright side, though, we talked about how that might not be the best for Homeland's chances, but if we want to talk about how that might be good for Homeland's chances, you won't have that same vertical destruction to worry about. On Basement is sort of the site that brings this up. The only real vertical play you have is like E-box hatch, and if you really want to call it vertical, somebody sit in big tower stairs or try to deal with pillars. That's the closest you really get to vertical play on Basement. So for Homeland, if they're able to play that horizontal style, but not have to worry about somebody, say, going up above, throwing a frag grenade down and rooting them out of their positions, that might help them in the overall. If they're able to more focus on what's right in front of them and not have to worry about those thoughts of, what if somebody's above? Oh, what if somebody's going to, toss a nade or an impact lifeline down? Might very well help. Still might lean in the favor of Disrupt, but just, hey, if you want to... We gave a lot of the glass half empty approach. Now I'm giving the glass half full approach. Just to try and balance everything out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Homeland has a lot of potential here. And again, this is their map pick. I may be completely wrong in how things are going to turn out for them. I mean, they may show up in a completely different fashion than they did on Cathay, because Cathay was Disrupt's map pick. I mean, Disrupt wanted to go to Cathay, and that may just be the map they know how to play on. They know how to be really aggressive on. Now, moving over to Oregon, yes, it is a more common map pick, but again, this is what Homeland wanted. I feel better about putting faith in them that they can perform a little bit better here than they were able to on Cathay. Now that, say, they're on their map pick, we may be able to see a closer fight this time. May not be able to see as much aggression facilitated by Disrupt, especially on this map, because you mentioned sort of the same vein. It's a very linear map. It doesn't allow for a lot of really variation in strategy. There's only a very few ways you can really attack a site, and if the defending team has got that locked down, there's nothing you can really do to stop them.
And there's a lot to be said for play styles, strats, all those sorts of things, but something that isn't as easily quantified or observable is, as you said, how comfortable a team is on a map. I'm not a comp player, but just to give my own anecdotal experience, I'm a very nervous player. I don't like swinging things a lot, but I feel very comfortable when I play Coastline, just like in ranked. And I do well on that map, just because I feel comfortable. Might be a similar situation for Homeland. Maybe that style of defense they'll exhibit on Oregon didn't work on Cathay because they weren't as comfortable. But going to Oregon, maybe that's the map they practice the most, a map that they all love to play as players. And they'll be able to do more with it just because they won't have that same mental burden of playing on a map that you don't feel comfortable on. Because if you feel... It's like the difference... And maybe this is just me, because I've heard some disagreement, but it's like the difference between sleeping in your own bed and sleeping in the hotel bed. You sleep in that hotel bed the first night, you're just kind of like staring up at the ceiling. But you go back home to that nice, warm bed you have at home, and you just fall right back to sleep. Now, of course, if your home bed is worse than your hotel bed, that analogy doesn't make any sense. But just assume, just live in my head, and the analogy should make sense.
It's like if your home bed is theme park.
Yeah. I'd love it if my home bed were theme park, personally. I liked that map. I hated playing it, but I did like watching it, and I do more of the latter than the former nowadays because I'm busy with college. So
Yeah.
I'm not a young boy anymore that can't just play ranked for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
I would
mean,
say
you
I
know.
miss those days, but I don't know if I do actually. I don't know if I do. The mental was chalked on a daily basis.
Man, I used to play comp
Endless
for
horror.
college esports. It was long time ago, but yeah.
We're fighting IMAT.
Yeah, fighting IMAT in the good old what was it? It was like
Which one?
oh, it was
You're trying to figure it out, aren't you?
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Was it CCL, CRSL?
It was
CR6,
CRSL and CR6. Those were the
there
two.
it is. I didn't even play in collegiate and I got that. That was impressive. You got to give me some respect for that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Say you're proud of me.
I gotta give
Say
you
you're
some
proud of
respect
me.
for that one. I'm proud of you for knowing the random little collegiate leagues from back in the day.
That was before my time though. That was
Yeah.
I was not in that scene. We are still waiting for one final player on the side of Homeland to get back in the lobby. We are waiting on Anna, the very person who is having the computer troubles. So don't know exactly what's going on. Don't know if the SSD died. Don't know if somebody placed a well-placed sniper shot into her PC chassis and now they just took her out of the game. Who knows? We don't know what's going on. But we'll let you know as soon as possible because I want to see this map number 2. We've been hyping it up. And there we go. Right as I say it, she's entered the lobby. PC is all good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Now should be good to go here in just a moment here. Just waiting on ours from teams here. We've got one from Homeland here. Waiting to hear from Disrupt here. Make sure we are good to head back into this map here as we do have everyone here in the lobby.
It looks like we are getting ours, at the very least from Homeland, which was the team in question. So long as we get an R from Disrupt, which, come on, please. We've been hyping up this map. We've been talking about how important it is. We've had to wait. Please just give me the R. Just give it to me, please. I'm on my knees, bro. But I was still waiting. Either way, I don't know. I don't have much more. Do I have to call Crow in and we'll do like math on stream? Or I might have to start doing that. I can only go for so long. I'll prove 0 to the power of 0 right now. If we don't get in the game. There we go. They heard my threats. We'll get in the game.
Yeah, no, they don't want you getting into math on stream. That's too much.
That's good. I'd butcher it. I literally cannot remember a word he said while he was explaining it, so it's probably for the best.
Yeah, no, Crow is a lot smarter than me. I will say that much at the very least. Crow is on a whole different level.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that because he plays 10 hours of Clone Hero on a daily basis, but he is certainly smarter in other areas.
Don't dock the Clone Hero, man. It takes dedication to even.
There is literal moss growing on him for how often he sits in that chair and plays Clone Hero. He looks like the three-eyed raven from Game of Thrones. There are roots growing throughout his body.
Oh, man. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk as we now are able to finally go ahead and get into the match here. They are going to be heading to the same site they were going to last time. It's going to be Kids Dorm starting out as our first site here. It's going to be, I think, an interesting one as we talked about, the verticality not being as prevalent in this map, and this is definitely one of those sites that really facilitates that, as you have really only a couple of modes of entry into the site here that Homeland are really going to have to look at.
Not again. Please, not again. I want to get the game. I want to get in the game. Anyway, my frustrations aside. Oh no, we did get in the game. Let's go. I saw the screen freeze. I saw us hit 000, and the fear was coursing through my body. But we're finally here. We've made it. Dorms. It's a Dorms defense, Loaf. What exactly happens on a Dorms defense? Well, I will tell you. Thankfully, since you asked that question. A lot of the times what we'd used to see was a strong attic hold back when Jaeger Romai was in their heyday, but we don't see that much anymore. Really, it's not exactly leaning heavily towards one place or the other. You just have a fair bit of utility spread across the entire site. It's not exactly the biggest space known to man. I'd say the only real spot you don't see a lot of pressure is big window, because this giant window looking there, and if you play to the hard right of the window, you're probably going to die. You play in front of the window, you're probably going to die, so gonna find a lot of the players stacked inside of dorms, inside of attic, right on closet breach, really anywhere away from that big window that still gives them a lot of control on the site. And in turn from Disrupt Gaming, see the same kind of push. We'll see some people moving in from attic, some people moving in from bedroom. If they decide to go for a big window take, we'll see some pressure over on that double window. The dorms is a site where you could see a lot of people coming from different directions, but all focused on that horizontal second floor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And already Cammy's going to be looking for the extension that is all too common for a site like this up in Big Tower, but there will be no one on the side of Homeland as, once again, they play very reserved, and they have some extensions, but nothing that goes too far. Sometimes they work out pretty well, but it actually does look like they got people playing all the way down inside of basement here, which is a little bit off kilter for them. Dyer and Snow both playing all the way down by freezer stairs here, as they've already opened up game's wall here. With the ace there, they're gonna have no problem whatsoever opening up that breach and getting themselves an angle into the site, as it doesn't look like they had any denial whatsoever. And there is Jahui. Gonna go ahead and fall there. That's already taking out their one main foray from Big Tower.
Excellent shot by Keisho. Going for more, in fact. We'll spot one on the drone. Might not have seen her. No, there she was. Dope Girl's head spotted, framed perfectly beneath the bars. That's diffuser dropped on the balcony as well. The final few members have to rotate over, and one might very well lose their life momentarily. Maddox hit the prone. Looked like might have gone for the peak, but smartly and wisely will rotate off. Now, the remaining three members of Disrupt have to make a decision. How do they want to take this? Maddox has 2 Aruni gates layered to the left and back of her, so she'll have to burn some utility. And they have to get that diffuser. They're not exactly in a position to go for the kills. They haven't opened up too much, and now the straights are even dire. Lioness has fallen. Anna swung inside a Big Tower and might get a second. Yes, she will onto Cammy. That Nomad we were talking about, who looked like they were contemplating the next move. She's the only one left in a 1v4 now that she's picked up the kill on Keisho. She'll try to burn the Aruni Gate, gets caught by the ADS, but now she finally will burn the Aruni Gate. Now what does she do? Try to deploy over that deployable shield. She'll burn the second one, and you can see her thinking about how to play this out. Odds are she'll lose this round. It's incredibly difficult to come back from a 1v4 even once you get that first kill. Both diffuser dropped on the balcony, Snow down below, info as well. The Z-pings highlighting her position, shields layered all around her, crossfires galore. This is going to be Homeland's first round, and one that they sorely needed to break the momentum of Disrupt after map number 1.
Yeah, and already there's Cake to go ahead and finish it out, and that is... It's a much more aggressive Homeland than we saw last time. Yes, they were playing a little bit more reserved towards the site, but I mean, Keisha was able to just push out no problem whatsoever and get 2 very, very easy kills. Unfortunately, the one droning there getting caught out, and that was Diffuser as well, getting caught out from a very, very close angle inside of Closet. That really threw a wrench in DG's plans there. So now it's going to be a matter of, can DG counter the aggression of Homeland now?
Setting up those crossfires is going to be of paramount importance for Disrupt. Maddox, unfortunately, not watching the Closet swing. And while they're playing on the balcony, maybe you could argue shouldn't have been on the drone. In a position like that outside the building, could have gotten a bit too comfortable, but either way, certainly a lacking on the side of Disrupt to counter that aggression, as you said, that we'll need to see. Going down to basement and laundry room could be a little bit difficult. At the very least, on the side of dorms, you have so many pathways to go through. You had the soft wall open that you could have watched that Closet swing through, but here, it really is incumbent upon you to get that map control because of how little vert there is. You have to destroy those hatches. Freezer, E-Box being the main 2 we'll probably see. You have to succeed in pushing the defenders out from, at the very least, one of many positions, whether it's clearing out elbow, clearing out the player inside of pillars, the latter which probably the most important position on the site. If the pillars player is alive late into the round, more often than not, the attack will fail completely because that position has not been cleared out. So if Disrupt are able to play closer together, this should go a lot easier.
Something I just want to talk about here that I think, at the very least, has to be brought up. Anna on the Tachanka. Just something I think we should mention. Just kind of as a little footnote in there on this round. Is just Anna is playing Tachanka. Now, given she was playing on the Jaeger last round, was able to do very well in a very aggressive position, but I'm interested because I feel like Tachanka at this point has come through it. The rework of Tachanka has definitely changed the way that he as an operator is played and how he fits into the whole meta. I mean, he is. I mean, in all fairness, he can be a solid. He can be a solid substitute for Smoke. So I feel like it's not too off kilter to bring him. It's definitely a little bit odd, especially in conflict, but definitely not completely and totally out in the woods there.
That might very well be emblematic of Homeland's comfortability. They banned that smoke, and in all likelihood, they've run this Tachanka to substitute for those toxic canisters getting taken off the board. In the past NSG tournament, we saw Tidal Coliseum. While they did run the Tachanka and the smoke in combo, we still did see that Tachanka used effectively at delaying time in the late round. One position I mentioned earlier, pillars. Pretty important for delaying time and winning the round if it's left alive. Getting a lot of pressure early on as well. The Jackal scan landing on Kisho. She'll continue getting aggressive against Jaehui on these big tower stairs. Use her second ping, this time to mark a player down on the bottom side of Laundry. That won't do much, but one player that could do a massive amount is Dyer inside of Z. While Kisho did manage to take down Jaehui on those big tower stairs, Dyer on this flank up Z could find Maddox, really anybody. The backs of Disrupt a turn to her.
Already. This is looking to be good for Homeland. Jaehui dying on those stairs there and not being able to clear out the pillars player is big for Homeland. Because now they have a very solid anchor that Disrupt are going to have a very hard time at clearing out. I mean, they're going to have to either dedicate a person to clearing that person out, or they're going to have to just deal with Kisho being there. Looks like they are going to have someone rotate around. It's going to be Lioness actually is going to make the push up through construction. Cammy is going to be the one to take out the player inside of pillars. Lioness finds another one there onto Dyer. 4v2 there in the fire. Dyer takes out Lioness.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Once again, Disrupt just pushing on in. Didn't exactly have the map control from utility. They said, you know what, let's make our own luck. Let's push on in. But now they have to deal with these Tachanka nades. The Shinka launcher firing over those fire nades right in the spot Dope Girl wants to plant in front of the default plant spot. And on top of that, you have Snow with the C4 in his pocket. Homeland might be in the man disadvantage, but in terms of utility, they are perfect. And Disrupt don't seem to have a solution. They're just sitting here waiting for the fire to clear, but finally, with 30 seconds left, they'll move on in. Anna picks up one, makes it a 2v2. Snow falls, that's no C4, it's all on Anna to make it work. She picks up the second kill. Dope Girl's on more HP, Anna's only on 25, pulls out the launcher. This might be Dope Girl's opportunity to go for it, but she whiffs the shots! She still lands them anyway, but lordy, that was far too close. Thankfully, Disrupt picked up and even it 1-1, but sheesh,
that was way too close.
That stopped my heart a bit, I ain't gonna lie to you.
That came way too close for comfort. I mean, I feel like that was all nerves right there for DG. That's a 1v1. You hear the fire nade going off behind you, and you are just in a state of pure panic at that moment, and Dope Girl absolutely was in that moment.
Again, just glad. Not so much glad that Disrupt won the round, of course. No bias, but I'm just glad the round did not end in that way, because that would have been unfortunate. If you could have won the round, then you just whiff your shots. That's not a good feeling for any player. But Dope Girl landed them. Didn't even need to get the bomb down. And that's exactly what Disrupt's plan was in those final 30 seconds. They saw those fire nades and they said, well, odds are we're not getting the bomb down. Let's just push in and then shoot some people. That seemed to be a lot of their strategy on Cafe, though definitely more so in the mind with a late round to execute. But once Disrupt chances at getting an execute were slipping away, they decided, you know what, let's push on in. Lioness just pushes up elbow, takes down the smoke. That is already huge because they're not able to get down that pocket reinforcement, and you've cleared out bunker with pretty much no utility wasted. Then on top of that, with losing a body to the pillars player, and Kisho still being inside a pillar, two players just dropped E-Box while somebody distracted her over on that northern side, then took her down. That whole round was just Disrupt failing in how you traditionally take Oregon and say, you know what, we've won our gunfights multiple times on Cafe. Let's just peek them, and it worked.
Yeah, absolutely it did. So they're gonna try it one more time. They're gonna see, you know, can we make this work? Can we just stop them? Because I mean, hey, the Tachanka worked really well right up until the end. I mean, the Tachanka was able to slow them down, stop them in their tracks. That is exactly what they needed. Is that area denial to waste as much time as possible. Lioness going to go ahead and start making an early foray here into constructions, sitting out inside of blue tarps. The Cake, once again, sitting outside, waiting. Kisho is going to be sitting on the north stairs here, trying to take care of some of these drones, but it looks like she's got 3 attacking bodies heading towards her right now. So she is going to be forced back down into pillars as she is droned out, and they are made very well aware of her position, and they will know the position of the attackers, as well as that barbed wire will be meleeed out. Maddox is going to go ahead and throw some air jabs here to cover the rotates as they get ready to start opening up the only bit of verticality here in E-Box Hatch.
Maddox as well will assume her position inside of Connector. Jay Huey assuming her position inside of Big Tower Stairs, this time getting the better of Keisho. A nice pre-fire. The Jaeger peeking her head out just a little bit too early, or really at all. Now Pillar's just fallen. You still have Snow playing a bit further back. That Goyle fire and a nade falling in as well. Snow is not going to be doing a whole lot of contesting from that position. Meanwhile, Lioness is looking to recapture her form of glory she achieved last round. Pushing up elbow pretty quickly with barely any cost utility. It looks like it's taking a little bit more time. Won't have as the same success. Cammy just swings on in. Don't know if that was the best idea, especially because Anna's now taking you to 1 HP and you have to march through that fire. Still a 5v3 now that Cammy lands the long shot onto Dyer. It's looking like a disrupt round unless Homeland can manage to turn things around.
And already a bit of a change of strategy here from Disrupt, as now they've gone for the two-angle push here. Jehui finds Snow as well, but Anna is going to be taken down by Jehui as well. As the push comes in, Lioness finds her death there, but the shotgun from Cake unfortunately won't be enough to shop around Jehui. 3 kills on the round for her. And just like that, Disrupt have come back out. It's now a 2-1 scoreline for them. And now Homeland, don't go back to basement. Go back to kids. That works.
Fun little fact, by the way, just so everyone's aware. All 3 opening engagements so far have been between Keisho and Jehui. The first 2 rounds, it was Keisho onto Jehui. The third round, it was the opposite. So hopefully in round number 4, just because it would be funny, we see Jehui get the opening pick onto Keisho just to put a nice little end on the story. But that is just kind of odd to me. When you see all those players getting the opening picks, it does tend to signal some of the most aggressive, the most comfortable players in the lobby, at least on there. It definitely seemed like that. It definitely seems that Keisho is the most aggressive player in this lobby so far, at the very least on the side of Homeland. You had that first round on Dorms, pushing up through the breach, getting a kill. Then on rounds number 2 and 3, peeking pillars. But once again, when that aggression is capitalized, you're basically giving a freebie away to the attacking team. Disrupt have shown multiple times that when they're coordinated, they can shut that down pretty easily. You had that play in round number 1, and maybe Keisho felt emboldened and was like, oh, I can make this work. But now in rounds number 2 and 3, we've seen Disrupt return to form to the strength we saw on Cafe, on their attacking side. And now maybe it's time for Homeland to dial it back a little bit. Not turn it off completely, because they did need some aggression, but don't go overboard with it. Still play a little bit further back. Don't give yourself away like that. And hey, Keisho, if you get that opening pick, don't push a little bit further. Just hang back and wait for another opportunity to present itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Biggest thing I'm going to be looking here is, are they going to really leave themselves open to as many angles as they did last time? I mean, they pushed in very quickly, but in that they didn't really clear out any anchors. But there's Snow getting an early kill through the front door onto Jehui. Not that typical matchup we see, but Anna falling as well to Maddox. Again, early trades back and forth. Again, not typically what we see. Homeland coming out with the opening engagement. Definitely a bit different here, as Disrupt were left in the back seat here, as now it is a 4v4. Okay. Make that a 3v4 now as Keisho finds Maddox, and once again Homeland look to be doing much better on this site, as it feels like they're able to pick themselves off into one-on-one fights, and Homeland come away with the advantages. Again, talked about it before. On the defense, the attackers have to come to you. You can really set the terms of engagement here, and that is exactly what Homeland are doing. I mean, they're setting up as like, you have to come to me, you're going to rappel up to here. All right, I'm going to be waiting here with the barrel of my gun. And it's just worked for them time and time again. They've still got their 2 hard breachers left, so it's not the end of the world, but your 2 biggest fraggers so far have fallen. But in terms of utility, I don't think Disrupt is out of this just yet.
No, they're certainly not. They're still pushing Attic fairly heavily, not at all daunted by the 2 losses they suffered early on, Jehui and Maddox. Cammy looks like might go for the rotate, but it's Dope Girl and Lioness left to make this push inside of Attic. Those 2 thermite charges, not a whole lot you can do now. It doesn't appear that bedroom wall, the moment they lost those bodies early to the aggression, seems like a foregone conclusion to get it, and what a great little bit of communication by the side of Disrupt. Relaying the intel to Linus. Maybe it was just a lucky pre-fire and I'm overcrediting it, but still great play overall by Disrupt. Kami follows it up, turns the tides in favor of Disrupt Gaming. Now it's Keisho left to bear the brunt of the majority of the attack. You still have one other member, but everyone is looking over at the side of the Frost. Snow down below. Could try to go for a plant, but they don't have intel on the planter. They thought it was big window. That's an easy pickup for Kami. Now Keisho really does have to make it all work. Peppers a lot of shots into multiple members of Disrupt, but on 1 HP. No kill secured to her name. This is going to be a difficult 1v3 if there ever was one. Post-plant scenario. Linus prone inside of Attic. Keisho does not have a lot of room to move. Only this doorway to march on through. And many attackers looking over towards a direction. A crossfire able to work their way out of. She'll rotate. Manage to cross, but only about 10 seconds left, and she won't even make it that far. Linus takes her down, and Disrupt win 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, already coming back strong here, and Homeland, while they have looked pretty strong here on their dorms defenses, they're going to have to do a lot more if they really want to come back and fight against Disrupt, as they are showing out once again with that attacking aggression that rarely has Homeland been able to really and truly counter.
Now we're moving back to dorms. Have not seen that 3rd bomb site just yet. Homeland, that was a lot of what we saw in Cafe as well in their defenses. They really wanted to try only 2 sites on the side of Cafe. It was Kitchen and Cocktail that they were going for the most, and they only brought out Reading, I believe, 1 time. Actually, I have it written down. Of course, I can just check. Yep, they went to Reading 1 single time. They appear to be following that same strategy, trying those 2 primary bomb sites, but hesitant to go to that 3rd. Going to dorms, it is the site they won once, so it's not out of the realm of the possibility, and they did win that round. When Keisho got aggressive and managed to stop the attacking team in their tracks, because spotted the guy on a drone, took her opportunity, and that was the big play of that round. Well, we haven't seen those same moments. We saw glimmers of it in round number 2, but going into round number 5, what's the play here? Because you had that early on aggression, but Disrupt were easily able to come back because of how well they've played together. And Homeland looked to be a lot of individual players right now. Anna and Dyer are kind of just roaming around the map by themselves. They're playing a little bit together, but getting picked off. Snow as well, playing down below. Overall, it seems to be just 5 players on the side of Homeland, whereas Disrupt appear to be the more cohesive unit overall.
Yeah, so far, biggest thing I think I want to look for is, I mean, again, I saw those individual gunfights that Homeland were taking. They were able to really section off Disrupt. I mean, if they could just keep doing that and they cannot let, I mean, you mentioned again, Disrupt is a very cohesive unit of a team. They work very, very well together. If you can separate them out, if you can really make them work on an individual basis, get them into those one-on-one gunfights with no support, I think Homeland can really, really take this out here. But biggest thing is going to be getting them into those individual engagements because of how well they work together as a team. Anna is going to be looking for some way to try and fight back here, as the Hibana is going to go ahead, start opening up the wall here and contesting inside of Attic. All this utility getting burned here by Lioness as well. The flashbangs flying out. Keisho looking for any way, shape, or form to try and turn the tides in Homeland's favor. Still a 5-5 minute gone. I think this is the longest we've gone in a round so far without a kill from either side.
It seemed much quieter, but I imagine the first kill's coming momentarily. Linus has moved straight into Attic because Homeland reinforced the Attic rotate hold. That is huge. Linus is free to sit inside of here. It might restrict Disrupt's opportunities and avenues to attack from, but the fact that Linus is able to establish that control so quickly because you simply cannot counter her, and now Cammy on the rappel as well, there's nowhere the defenders can rotate out of. This rappel able to cut down Anna and cut off angles that defenders can peek from. That might be one of the plays and one of the angles that wins Disrupt the round. Minute 10 seconds left. Beyond that kill onto Anna, no other defender has really been pushed out of their comfort zone just yet. I say that right as Cake is put to 1 HP. Him and Snow holding down dorms, just sitting there. Keisho finally peeks, gets taken down. A crossfire by Linus and Jay Huey to take him down. Master bedroom wall open. This looks like a disrupt round unless Homeland can manage to clutch the 3v5. Gonna be difficult with Cake on 1 HP. Dire as well. Right hand side of that big window. Hard position to play. Thankfully, there's no nades left on the board, so might be able to survive and make that position work if nobody from Disrupt knows the pre-fires. That's how you read one on the side of Dope Girl, and now it's effectively only on Snow. The Goyle might be able to land 1, but 2 low HP. What is Snow to do? Get her some help because she can't do this all by herself. It's a flawless round for Disrupt. Because once you have reinforced that Haddock rotate, and you give Disrupt the room to play to their game, they will do it to the best of their ability.
Absolutely, and they've shown that time and time again as now they have gone up 4-1. Unfortunately, Homeland denying them the once again flawless half. They're going to be heading back down to basement. Once again, a site which they have had no success on. Not even going to try for a third site here in this last round. I think they're just hoping for success once again as they came so close once, unfortunately, but have not come close. Again, we're going to see 3 times on 2 sites here with only 1 success. Maybe they can turn it into 2, but already, I mean, it feels like DG just has their number on this site. I feel like if I'm Homeland, I would have headed to a third site.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
One thing I will say for Homeland on this bomb site in particular is that even though they have lost it twice, both times they at the very least put Disrupt on the back burner a little bit. While you had Keisho peeking back tower stairs and losing that gunfight in the most recent attack, the utility game has been solid from Homeland those past couple rounds, especially Anna on that Tachanka, who have really made a pretty solid use of this smoke ban, and in that absence used the Tachanka to a pretty solid effect. I mean, in their first basement defense, had Disrupt not won those gunfights, that looked like a Homeland round, and it really did come down to Disrupt and making those plays. And hey, sometimes even when you do all those things right, if you lose those gunfights, the round won't go in your favor. It is what it is. There's not so much you can say to remedy that, but it is a sign that Homeland's play on this site is not bad. In fact, it's quite good. It is just still putting them on the pressure enough and working the man advantage in your favor, not giving yourself up to early gunfights. If they're able to play their utility and shore up in those other aspects, a 4-2 half is not out of their reach.
Absolutely it isn't here, and I think the biggest thing here is Keisha playing very aggressively here, just back behind stage, taking some shots as they are aware of the punch hole. It's going to be, I mean, she's playing very aggressively. Normally we see if she gets any pressure, she immediately rotates back downstairs, and she's not backing down. She's looking to try and hold on to this Evox hash as long as possible, but it looks like this time Disrupt are not going for the Evox hex. They're actually going for a laundry side take. A bit of a change from what we've seen from them in the past, but I'm not sure they're aware of Keisho pushing up here from inside of meeting. They are not aware at all. There's no drone, there's no intel whatsoever, and the spray comes out. Maddox is the first to fall. They will be aware of her now, and she's going to go ahead and just scurry on away back over towards kitchen here.
It was an incredibly risky play by Keisho. The fact that Disrupt would not have anybody on drones actively watching that flank, I mean, that's not an uncommon position. Maybe they shot the drone early on. We even saw some bullets fly over past the Jaeger's head, but just a lack of foresight, lack of flank watch by Disrupt to take her down, and great execution by Keisho making that play. And that's what you need. A kill unanswered to set Disrupt back a few steps. But so far, their play inside of Laundry and Freezer, aside from that opening kill, is left unchecked at the moment. While they have taken and made some strides into Freezer, you still have Dire outside with a C4 as well. She's given up that position, so this might actually lend the favor of Disrupt, and with Anna down as well. That is a massive pick. Anna has done so much to stall and bring the round in the favor of Homeland that now that she's put on the floor, you're solely relying on Dire and Snow and Cake with those C4s. I don't know, losing those Shinka fire grenades, that could prove fatal to Homeland if they don't manage to pick things up.
Now, already Dire taking some shots from the normal supply hold here. The C4 comes out, and that is Dope Girl taken down. Cake finds another kill as well onto Cammy. And now is a 2v4 Alta Jahui and Lioness, the two dominant fraggers here. There's one of them taken down as Cake finds a second kill on the round. Now it's Alta Jahui who's done so much, but will she be able to do it all on her own? So far, Snow will be the first one to fall to the L85 here in a 1v3. Anna now fully down and out. One C4 still left up on the board in the hands of Cake here. So a lot of potential there on the drone there, trying to bait out anyone. Most people on the floor here. One still sitting inside a freezer, though, that I don't think she's aware of at all. No, she is not. It's going to be Keisho there, finishing it out for Homeland. They come away with a 4-2 half, looking at least a little bit stronger than map number 1.
Big props to Keisho making that play, taking down Maddox. While might not have been the most active player in the XQ, just on that Nomad, Maddox has been watching a lot of the flank and not the person entering into sight. But what was huge there was that C4 kill onto Dope Girl. Disrupt had the map control they needed. They had Freezer. They took down Anna from that angle you saw at the very end through that rotate hole. They had everything they needed, but it was that C4 out the laundry doorway, incinerating Dope Girl, dropping that diffuser on the floor that really looked like it threw Disrupt so off their rhythm to the point where they could not recover. And when you're in that state, when you're trying to regain your composure, that's when Homeland swept up, got those 2 final kills, and left Jaehui in a 1v4. But at the same time, Disrupt were on a 4-2 half going into their defensive rounds. This is still looking good for Disrupt overall, especially with how that ban phase went. They've lost the smoke. That might throw them off their guard, but you've got that Mira. You don't see her often on Oregon, but she can be powerful if given the chance. You also have, not an operator would say, that relates to the ban phase, but you have Warden who's able to bring that deployable shield, and we've seen how powerful he can be on this site, and his pick rate on Oregon specifically rise as well.
5 seconds left.
So while Homeland got that round, and it was certainly the strongest one we've seen so far, and extremely well played by them, Disrupt still look like they're in the advantage.
Yeah, absolutely they do right now. We'll see, though. I mean, Homeland looked to have at least been bringing it back a little bit, but we'll see where things go from here. That's the biggest thing is, you know, they were able to show up at least a little bit more than they did on Cafe. I mean, I will admit, even though Disrupt came away with rounds, the rounds were a lot closer than they were on Cafe. I felt like Disrupt was completely in the driver's seat, but I mean, there were many times where I felt like Homeland had a fighting chance here against Disrupt. So we'll see how this goes on the attack if they're able to continue their success here.
Seconds in, just some cursory droning right now, gathering intel for the side of Homeland to use. They'll spot the Melusi of Cammy playing aggressive on those freezer stairs, but she's also just gathering intel, just sitting, waiting for if any drones come in to take them down, but also to gather some sound cues to see if they are pushing over on this west side of the map. While Dyer holds the flank right here, we'll have the Maverick of Anna opening up that freezer hatch. And this might be a hint as to where the XQ from Homeland might come from. We see a lot of gathering on this side by those laundry stairs, by this freezer hatch. And on the side of Disrupt, it worked up until the final C4. So starting out, throwing a curveball on the side of Homeland, going for an execute, that is certainly the least common of the ways to take this map. Might be what they need to get an early first round victory.
We'll see here as once again, very late in the round before we're seeing any real action there. But there's Jahui to go ahead and get things started as Keisha will fall to the Alda, bring it down to a 5v4 in favor of Disrupt here. Homeland taking their sweet time getting onto the site here. Now there's a minute left, and it doesn't look like they're ready for their execute at all.
Looks like they are scrambling with that loss of Keisho, the most aggressive player on the side of Homeland. They're going for a complete rotate over to the back stairs. They do have the hatch open, so it's not like they lack the map control. Well, even in parts they do. They have the vertical, but the horizontal. 45 seconds left, and Cammy's still in pillars. Might not be the worst thing on the planet, but since you've decided to rotate and make this your execute, not a lot of time to work with in order to pull this out. Snow will just try to knife bait around the corner, but Cammy is not biting. Well, she might very well now and might lose her life as a result, but it's 25 seconds left. Disrupt have the man advantage. They'll spot one coming in through bunker, fire some pot shots, then rotate off. Anna's going to try to open up this bunker wall. messing up on the Maverick trick. This is just not looking good on the side of Homeland whatsoever. 10 seconds left. C4 ripped by Dope Girl, waiting to send it over. It's Cammy, in fact, to find the first kill with the gun. The C4 whiffed, but it's still the man advantage strongly for Disrupt. It's just Snow left getting the bomb down. Don't get it down successfully. In fact, nobody's peeked her quite yet, but there we go. Dope Girl cleans it up. And a late round rotate that seemed a bit half-baked by Homeland will net a round win for Disrupt.
Yeah, already Disrupt looking pretty strong, and I think part of that was also just due to Homeland felt like they were floundering. I mean, it didn't really seem like there was a lot they could get done right there, and they just waited, like you said, the last 10 seconds before they really did anything.
At the same time, losing your entry like that Ash in that position, a laundry execute often will come down to a player getting the opening pick from that spot. So might have been the smart move overall, but again, when you're rotating to that execute, you don't have pillars control, you don't have bunker control, or really any true form once that reinforcement is put up, because while the player might not no longer be in that position, you only have 40 seconds left. That angle is completely cut off. It looked like Homeland were scrambling. It looked like they weren't exactly sure how to take that down. Now Disrupt get that very first round, moving to dorms. That could be a struggle for Homeland, but they'll bring out an operator we are familiar with. They have Anna on that Amaru. In their one-round win on Cafe, they used that Amaru to dictate the pace, to put Disrupt on the back foot right off the bat, and hey, it did end up working. It got them their first round win, but it is a little bit worrying when Homeland seemed to be relying on operators like Amaru to get their aggression instead of creating it for themselves.
Absolutely.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I think you're absolutely right. It's just the nature of the op is creating the aggression rather than them making it themselves. Now, it has worked for them in the past. I mean, that just sheer surprise of the Amaru and the sheer ability that, again, the aggression that she generates has worked against DG, and I feel like that should be more telling to Homeland that, hey, you have to know that aggression really works against DG. You most times countering aggression with more aggression is the way to go. I mean, because there's no real counter to it. Now, if a team is just straight turtling out, a lot of the times, I mean, if they have their holds really nailed down, aggression isn't the way to go. But when you have a team, again, as aggressive as DG, you got to find some way to go about it here, and aggression is the way, and we'll see if that does work out for them, as it looks like Anna is going to go ahead and swing up with the Amaru, and just going to go ahead inside of B site here, and has control, and Snow, again, it's that misdirection play, and that is unfortunately not going to work out, but Anna gets 2 kills there. Dyer finds 1 as well. The Snow was unfortunately killed with the diffuser. Lioness is able to find Keisho as well, making it a 2v3. It's just Lioness and Dope Girl here in a 3v2. Dyer does try to get this diffuser down. Anna will find a 3rd kill with the Gone 6 there, and there is Lioness, unfortunately off the rip with the 416, runs out of bullets, has to reload, but the plant has gone down. Now she's in a post-plant situation. She's got to try and find out where these last 2 attackers are, see if she can't get this defuse off. Has no idea of where anyone is on Big Window. Does not know that the player is inside of B site, and there's Anna with a 4K with the Amaru. Homeland come away with another round, bringing it up to 5-3, steadily closing the gap here between Disrupt.
One thing I will say, playing off that Amaru, Homeland seemed actually practiced in that. Extremely well coordinated on landing that rush, EE1D going out just as the Amaru is going in, giving it enough time to breathe where they're able to gather intel on the defender's positions, not just sending it immediately without any info. That was a well thought out, calculated rush by Homeland, just like the Amaru rush we saw on Cafe. But it was that Amaru rush, as I said earlier, that was also the only round they won. We still need to see Homeland actually succeed on a traditional attack, because there are plenty of sites like Basement that you can't do an Amaru rush on. And going to a site like Dorms, if you Amaru rush again, Disrupt could be ready for it. So now I'm thinking, you've got that one round, you've able to break the momentum a little bit, and you got another W in the column. But how are you going to take this in a way that is more, I guess, calculated? Not to say that the other play wasn't calculated, but a bit more traditional in the way you expect a team to execute a site, And if it doesn't work, where do you go after that? Because this is the round I want to see. We know they can do the Amaru play, but can they do it without her?
I'm not sure. I'm going to be 100% honest, is that aggression by Ana there on the Amaru was what really facilitated that entire push and what really facilitated that entire win. I gotta be honest. And there's nothing that really worked out for them if it wasn't for that Amaru. I mean, she got 4 kills just sitting inside of B site.
Indeed. Just sat there. Peek left. Got like 2. Peeked right. Got 2. What else are you supposed to do in that position? The moment you hop in, point of Amaru is to acquire that quick map control and then just hold it. Not often you see the Amaru make their way through the map. You see in a spot like that where they get that position, they deny a wide array of angles, and they just hold them to the best of their ability. But now Homeland, they don't have that. They do still have that Lion, so at least a similar strategy when it comes to clearing out the roam, which is to put the defenders in those positions. Or to put defenders in a spot they cannot move, make it easier to pinch them out. But they're going for this more traditional style of play. Ana moved over to Attic, opening up those walls. The ace charge over on Master Bedroom could get impact by Cammy. She'll send one out, and it will destroy it. So you only have that one hole, but he's still got 2 Selma charges in his pocket. And the hard breach denial on Bedroom wall is taken down. So Snow's free to continue to his heart's content.
Yeah, already Ana gonna go ahead and open up some breach here, try and get some control inside of Attic, but they've got a lot of utility to burn if they want to try and flush out Jahui here, who has a whole myriad of setup there. But it looks like whatever they had preventing that trophy wall from being opened up has been taken off, and now the ace charges are going to go ahead and sail across, and that is going to be a very, very tough position that she has put in now.
Lioness put the attackers in an incredibly tough position if they're not cognizant of their flank, and it doesn't appear Dyer and Ana are. Lioness creeping up these back tower stairs. Oh no, the attacker's back is to her. She'll land 1. Can she land the 2nd? Oh, it's a bit of a... There we go. That was a bit of a shuffle, bit scary, but she managed to pull down and get Ana. Misha will get the refrag. Finds Kami sitting inside that bedroom rotate, or sorry, that games rotate. But it's still a 4v3 because of a great play from Lioness on that flank and a bit of lack of awareness from Homeland, not watching a common flank position that should be watched. Now Homeland, what do they have? They have big window control, but not a lot to work off of. They'll have the player sent up white surely, but beyond that, with Snow getting the bomb down and now another player falling, Lioness on the long angle, this is looking like match point for Disrupt, and Snow doesn't have a lot to say about it. On the vault in, Cake falls, and Snow falls to 25 HP and walks into her grave soon after. Disrupt moved to match point, and that traditional take didn't seem to work out all that well for Homeland.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was just too much fragging power in the hands of Lioness there. Able to really back up Jahui, who was really putting a rock in a hard place there, but comeback from Homeland looking a little bit less likely now, as 6-3 is definitely a wall to put up against. They have put up a bit more of a fight this time, but not sure. No, I'm not sure if what I've seen from Homeland is going to be enough for them to really overcome the wall that is Disrupt here.
It appears they'll try to throw at the very least another curveball at the defense, and 2 curveballs, in fact. You have Dyer on the Finka and Ana on the Blitz. I lumped Blitz into the same category as Amaru earlier, about attackers that you're able to push behind or use to acquire some map control without doing it the same way. You know, normally you get your entries, your Ashe, maybe your Zofia to move in, get that map control by a drone. But Blitz and Amaru are both kinds of operators that are able to dictate that pace. Now Ana's moving to her. And this, again, signals that same fear I had, that Homeland aren't really able to get that aggression in the same way that Disrupt were, based off of drones, based off their entries like the player of Linus. They need these operators in order to acquire that map control. And hey, it might very well work. If they're able to do that 3 rounds in a row, that should be all good. But it's still the fact that they're not fixing those problems on their attack, or they don't seem to be willing to fix those problems on their attack. That is the most worrying for me. Now moving down to basement, you have a mirror to cut through. You have a deployable shield on the side of Maddox to cut through, and if they're able to send the Ana down freezer or big tower stairs or inside a bunker, it could work. But at the same time, if it even fails once, Disrupt have taken the series 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely, but oh man, Ana coming in with the very quick double melee there, to go ahead and get things started, but Jahui finds one back. Dope Girl finds 2 of her own as well. It's
And there it
2
is.
and 2, and just like that, the rush has failed. Jahui finds 3. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Disrupt coming away with the first match win of CCSW, and the second map win, come away with a flawless win here of a 2-0 against Homeland, and they will be the first team sent down the lower bracket. Disrupt will go ahead and continue their run on. What a fantastic game as well. Lioness and Jahui, once again, the 2 top fraggers, 11 and 12 kills, respectively.